In this tutorial, we're going to look at the layer effects and what they can do in basic photo editing. So first I'm going to copy the background layer here so that I'm always practicing non-destructive editing. I'm not doing anything to the original copy, and it's locked. I've locked it. Background's locked automatically, but if you want to lock a different layer, you can press lock right here. I'm going to go down right here to this FX button on the lower left of the layer panel, and I'm going to click it. And CS6 might have a few different options in CS 5.1. I don't remember offhand, but the three that we're going to talk about in this tutorial, color, gradient, and pattern overlay, appear on both. So I'm going to click color overlay, and unfortunately the default color is this really bright red, and we want to change that right away unless you want to work with red. My picture had a lot of blues in it, so I think I'm going to choose kind of like a muted gray blue to kind of blend into my picture in different ways, and I'm going to say OK. So at this point the opacity is at 100%, so I want to bump it down just a little bit to start to see that photo. But even you can tell even if I have my opacity at 50%, since this layer is directly over the picture, it kind of subdues it or dulls it a little bit, and I don't want that. And then this is where these blend modes can help. And this isn't the only area that blend modes appear in Photoshop. They appear a lot of different places, and you can use them for many purposes. So we're going to introduce them a little bit during this project with this function. So I drop down, I click the drop down menu here, and I see that I have a lot of different options to choose from, and each one will do a little bit different thing with that overlaid color and then the picture underneath. So just go ahead and go through them. You can always come and change the color and see what each one does. Some of them darken, some of them lighten, and then some of them take a combination of the color and the picture underneath. So just kind of see what you like. This would be a good time to take your notes out and then kind of go through these and circle ones that you really like, maybe cross out ones that you don't like so much, so that you can remember, so that maybe you can apply them to all three of your pictures. So I'm going to say cancel here because I want to keep showing you other things, but that's just a little bit about blend modes. You can get a lot of different outcomes. I can change the color and pick something that's different. I can come down again to my FX button, and this time we're going to look at the gradient overlay. And if you've ever seen vignettes, I'm going to make one of those because those are really popular in like professional photography and personal photography today. So we'll go through how to do that. You'll see that blend mode appears again. Gradient, I'm going to click here, and you can do whatever you want. You could pick a color gradient, and I encourage you to play around with all of these options and not just do what I do, but you're welcome to, if creating a vignette seems interesting to you, you can do that too. So I've created a gradient that goes from black to transparent, and I'm going to say OK. And what a vignette is the image is lighter around the center and then slightly darker around the edges. So it's kind of that old-timey, antique-y, nostalgic look that seems popular. I can change my blend modes here if I want to. I might go down, no, not an overlay, multiply. That one's one of my favorite. And like I said, you can just play around with them to see what your favorite is. I'm going to change my gradient style from linear to radial, radial meaning going out or in from the center. And this is exactly the opposite of what I want. I want the black to appear around the edges, not right smack dab in the middle of her face. So I'm just going to click reverse right here. But this is a little bit too severe. I want it a little bit more subdued than this. So I'm going to bump up the scale here, and that helped a little bit. It brought the black around the edges. And then I can play with the angle as well until I get something that I'm satisfied with. Maybe I think that the black is a little bit too much. I can drop down the opacity if I want to just kind of create a subtle vignette. I can also come in and click the gradient, and maybe I want to change that color. Instead of black, maybe I want it fading to kind of like a dark blue, to kind of mimic the ocean and stuff that's going on there. I can say OK and then choose a different color there as well. So that's how you create a vignette. You could go and then do something a little bit more noticeable or more severe. It's just kind of, it's up to you. And then if you're doing something a little bit more decisive like that, you can play with the blending modes to see what they do. Some of them will work and some of them will not work. So as you can see, there's a lot of different options. I'm just going to say cancel. And I'm going to show you one more thing here, and it's the pattern overlay. And it's really similar to the gradient overlay. You can look at patterns here. If you don't have a lot of patterns in your library, go ahead and call me over and I can show you how to find more of them, because Photoshop does have a lot of default patterns. So let's say I want this to look kind of naturey. So I have paper here because I had been using Photoshop to do digital paintings. So I have a pattern, and I'm going to drop down. I can drop down the opacity a little bit, but then you can see that the paper is still noticeably over the photograph, and that's not exactly what I want. So then I can go and play with my blending modes again to make this look like it was printed on a different kind of surface. So that is the pattern overlay, a lot like the gradient overlay. Same principle, you're playing with the blending mode, the opacity, and then the scale of the pattern. And that's an option too. So that ends this tutorial on the FX key right down here. And you're welcome to play with other ones in here and see what they do on